Absolutely perfect timing. I just got back from the kitchen and this track was finishing. My character in the game is checking his wrist and checking the time. Absolutely perfect. How is everybody? I am feeling so good right now. I'm actually really very tired, but so I don't know how long we'll go for tonight. But the house, for the first time in like a year and a half, is actually clean. We actually have a dining table. Charlotte sat at the dining table last night. She made herself some noodles. She sat down with her iPad. She ate food at the kitchen table. My wife's office isn't full of boxes and clutter. The deck is clear. There's a table out there now. It actually looks like a house instead of a house partly consumed by a warehouse. But it's been a huge amount of work. Huge amount of work. The patio out the back is looking fantastic. We've got the spit set up for Easter tomorrow. It is Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Crouch After Dark. I hope everyone is doing well. Platty trying. How are you, my friend? Logan, my friend, how are you? Mother Fig joining us on YouTube as well. Oh boy. I'm absolutely knackered. I fell asleep in my chair before I went upstairs. Oh man, I put a TV in our bedroom. I haven't had a TV in my bedroom since I was in my late teens. We had an old TV. I mounted it up on the wall today. Started unpacking some of my Black Library books. Holy cow, there's still a huge amount of work to do. Like our spare room is not, it's inaccessible. It's just there's so much stuff piled in there. The little shed is just chockers. I can't even get in through the door anymore. But yes, Logan, it's a good feeling when you get ahead on things. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on my main account tonight, Crouch. Here at Crouch After Dark. And you know how we start every stream here at Crouch After Dark. We're not going to make a big ordeal of it because I'm just way too tired. The good old Tim Tam Slam. It is, my friends, as you all know, and if you've heard many, many times here on the stream before, it is 2 chocolate biscuits with a little bit of chocolate in the middle. We're going to bite off the opposite corners of this biscuit. It's going to turn this biscuit into a straw. We're going to slurp up our favorite drink. Now, I do tonight actually have some Cadbury's hot chunking chocolate. Unlike last night, the abomination that I made with a little bit of cacao and some sugar. Certainly way better than the cacao and salt that we made last week. Was good, but the Cadbury's drinking chocolate is way better. We're going to slurp up that hot chocolate through this biscuit. It's going to melt the inside of the biscuit. It's going to melt the biscuit, the chocolate. It's going to turn it into a delicious green mess. We're going to put it in our mouth, gobble it down, wrap our laughing gear around it, as some people would say. Enjoy that treat, and then we're going to get on with some Star Citizen. Metaphysical Bravo, how are you, my friend? Skeet's over on YouTube as well. How are you? 07s. Are we all jumping over to YouTube tonight, are we? Twitch is having a complaint about my bitrate. Oh man, we're in Pyro, ladies and gentlemen. We are in Pyro. We're going to be checking out some of the Pyro activities. I've never done any activities out here in Pyro. Skeet's on his phone at the moment. Tuning in on his phone. Dedication. What a legend. We've also done a lot of mining out here. Rock mining. But I've never really followed up on any of the missions. I think we've done a couple of Citizens for Prosperity. So I'm going to be checking out what's going on in Pyro. We'll be here for a couple of hours tonight. It's Easter tomorrow. Everyone's coming over. So we had a lot going on. Let's jump in. What's that, Nongi?
Nothing.
We've got the good old Cutlass Red with us. Got my saves point, my spawn point saved on the Cutlass Red.
Can I have a chocolate?
What's that, Nongi?
Can I have some?
Sure. It's hot.
Oh.
Do you want to go get a straw?
Yes, actually.
Go get a straw. Because the glass is hot. Mercenary. Establishing security. Citizens of prosperity. Hauling. First haul in the system. So we're at the Stanton Gateway, by the way. Collections for Wicklow, right? Cello Station. Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of stuff available for Wicklow. But does this take us... Give it a bit of a stir. On the bottom. Yeah, stir that chocolate up. Yeah. There we go.
The right hot.
It is hot.
Now the straw's hot.
Now the straw's hot. It's a hot chocolate, sweetheart. It probably needed just an extra bit of sugar in it. Spawning from the ship hasn't been working for you, Skeet? Ah, well, you know, we'll see what happens. I wonder if this place here, Wicklow Emporium Dazzy Station, is this in Pyro or is it in Stanton? It's in Stanton. Okay, so you still get the Wicklow missions here, even though they take you back to Stanton. That's interesting. So I guess where we are at the moment, the only missions we've got are the hauling and the mercenary contracts. It needs a splash of brandy. I had a real hankering for some port the other day. I used to drink port when I was younger. Let's establish security. Welcome to the system. Not sure if you're familiar with our organization, but Citizens for Prosperity are a non-profit organization dedicated to bringing security and civilization to unclaimed systems. If you're looking for work in the system and would like to help achieve our goal, we are looking for anyone with combat experience to help secure a remote... Darling, just pick the glass up. You can't climb underneath the boom arm. That doesn't work. You got too much hair for that nonsense. Did you just drink all of my hot chocolate? Rude.
I don't know. I didn't, see? There's still something there. I mean, there's like a drop, but you know.
If you're looking for work in the system and would like to help achieve our goal, we are looking for anyone with combat experience to help secure a remote outpost near Kabir's post on Pyro 5A that has been taken over by a group of outlaws. We've tried to work with them, but have only been met with violence and threats. Once complete, we can offer you a variety of new job opportunities in this system and beyond. Lovely, let's do it. I used to have 2 snifters of port before you did karaoke, Meta. Made me more confident, much to the audience dismay. A little bit of brandy in that hot chocolate would have been nice. A bit of Dutch courage, hey? Look at this. Look at this person over here all lit up in their neon in an IAE Fat Man suit. It's not exactly a Fat Man suit though, is it? It's not bad. I don't mind that. All right. Oh, so we got a couple of hours to kick tonight. Obviously got to be up early for Easter morning, for obvious reasons. Got to get the spit going at around 8 o'clock or so, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, to be ready for lunch around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock or so. I guess the earlier I get it going, you know, the sooner I can eat some delicious meat. The line, I spoke about Metaxas Meats, which is a butcher here, you know, close to where I live. And the lineup for Christmas, so on these major holidays, it's sort of order only. So you have to order and then go pick it up. You can't just go there and buy stuff. You have to order beforehand. But even then, the lineup for Christmas was 2.5 hours. It's stretched for about 100, I want to say 150 meters down the road. Today, nowhere near as bad. The line was maybe, I want to say 25 meters. So nowhere near as bad. Still a good 40-minute wait to pick up my order. Drake Cutlass Red. Retrieve. I've got the Cutlass Red. Because I knew I'd be doing some combat. Some FPS combat, so I've got the healing bed in there. Whether the spawning actually works on the ship or not may seem to be an issue. Skeet says he hasn't been able to get it to work for him. Actually, I'm glad maybe Charlotte drank my hot chocolate because it's giving me the hiccups. Now you've got some orange juice. You've gone from hot chocolate to orange juice. Out of control. And then, you know, the Cutlass Red, it's got the 4 size 3s on it, so it can put up a fight. You know, for some entry-level bounties and stuff, we will be able to sort those out in a Cutlass Red. 56.7 gigameters away. We're in Pyro, ladies and gentlemen. The distances are vast. The distances are vast. Got my old Stinger Overlord armor on. Let's go. Tried to do a couple of these missions quite some time back. I think we only managed to get one of them to complete, but there's been a couple of patches since then, so hopefully, you know, these are running a bit more smoothly. And as I adventure around, I would like to see some of the other missions there. There's handyman missions and stuff. I'm not 100% sure what's currently active. One day Crouch will be a real streamer and do a giveaway. Well, I need to have something to give away first. I've got to get hold of CIG and get them to give me something to give away. I don't, you know, what sort of numbers do you need to have for that? I've got 292 followers on Twitch, right? You know, is that a big enough audience for CIG to say, yeah, we'll give this guy a Carrick starter pack with LTI to give away. How are you, by the way, Metaphysical? Hello, Motherfig. Thank you for joining us. 07 to you both. We got a big jump ahead of us, so I think what we might do, let's get ourselves into nav mode. Let's get some shields active. We'll have a quick look, because it came up last night, but we didn't really have a look. Zemon Star. I see that guy around a little bit.
Thank you. And please visit again.
What's going on with our QT? Clear navigation.
Clearing waypoints and updating navigation, sir.
Interesting. Invalid target. Do we kind of need to get out of here a little bit? Why is it an invalid target? We're flying 56 gigameters under main thrusters. We'll come back in a couple of weeks when we get there. Interesting. Maybe cruise control is a bad idea at the moment. Okay, let's Okay, let's go here to Yang's place. We're gonna have to keep an eye on our fuel, hey. Jason the Bruce, my friend, how are you? Good evening, good sir, to you. You're okay, Metaphysical? Back to work next week. I know I've got Monday off. Oh, crap. I need to phone work at some stage tonight and let them know that I'm not coming in the morning. I did let HR know that, via my roster that I wasn't able to come on Sunday, but I haven't heard back from them. My request is still pending, so I should probably phone the operations manager or the duty manager and just let them know that I'm not coming in for my shift in the morning. Can't believe I was rostered on Easter Sunday for a 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. shift. I can't do that. We've got a massive family gathering with people coming from interstate and everything. And I've never been rostered on a Sunday ever in 2 years. Never done a Sunday. And they roster me on Easter Sunday. Idiots. As if I'm going to come in. Ha! All right, so you're very good, Jason. Very tired, but good. Home from a camping trip. Man, I'm cooked as well, man. I was just saying at the beginning of the stream, our house hasn't looked like a house for a year and a half. But we've been working hard over the last couple of weeks to get the house cleaned up. Everything put away. We actually have a dining table for the first time in a year and a half. Unbelievable. There's nothing in the dining room except the dining table and, water cooler and stuff. But nothing from my warehouse. My wife's office is clean. The deck is clean. The backyard, the patio is clean and sorted out. Anyway, so I'm buggered, man. Absolutely buggered. So I was having a look at these new career starter packs that came up last night. Someone had asked the question, what do I think of the starter packs? Look, I think it's a nice little thing, right? For $10, or in my case, 11 for me. The only thing that's disappointing is that the combat career set doesn't have a backpack. It's the only one that doesn't have a backpack. All of the others, the medical career has a backpack. The salvage has a backpack. The mining has a backpack. What's going on over there, Nungi? Cargo career has a backpack. The ready for anything, the light MacFlex armor has a backpack. But the combat gear, no backpack. Disappointing. Disappointing. I mean, even the ready for anything, right? You get a rifle, you get a weapon. The MacFlex backpack in white. You get a tractor beam with a true hold tractor beam attachment with a multi-tool. You get a P4. You get a mining attachment. I don't mind this armor. Obviously, it's a light armor, but I guess it's ready for anything. I'm not a huge fan of the Horizon helmet. That's what it has, right? It's got a Horizon helmet. Oh, the RSI Venture helmet. So that's a bit disappointing. I do like this cobalt paint scheme for the Atlas. This is kind of cool. I mean, having said that, I don't really mind the green that the Geo comes with. I'm assuming this can be applied to the Geo as well. This paint is compatible with all Atlas variants. And I noticed, and the reason I'm bringing this up, at the bottom of this page, at the bottom of this page are HCS voice packs, 50% off, Easter sale. So if you're interested in voice attack or a HCS voice pack, now might be a good time to check them out. And I did notice when I went and had a bit of a browse around here, Star Citizen, that they had some AI packs in here that were sort of connected to a, I don't know which language model they're using, but connected to something. Yang's Place. Is this still 1.1 million miles away? How am I supposed to get there? Gotta wait for our quantum drive to cool down. What does our fuel look like? Okay, so our fuel doesn't look too bad. There we go. Wow, 1.1 million. This place must be massive. You're not going to lie, you love the limited paints for the Zeus. Mother figure, you've been off since Wednesday and it feels like Sunday. Number 2 already. Yeah, Wednesday night was my last night. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Obviously, I'm not going to a shift tomorrow. I just can't. You know, we've got a major, you know, holiday. Kim's family's Catholic, and you know some of her family are very religious. And Mum goes to church every week, and they all say grace before every meal. And you know, whenever there's a family gathering, they do like religious crosswords, and then you know all that sort of stuff. You know, they're not hyper crazy, but you know, Easter is a big deal. So, as if I'm going to go to work, and then I've got obviously Monday off, Easter Monday, so. Go to remote outpost near Kabir's post. Yang's place, hey? Let's see what mischief we get up to here. Of course it has to be dark, doesn't it? Or becoming dark, or... Why does it have to always be dark, man? Did someone just shoot at us?
Someone just shoot at us.
Okay, this place doesn't look too huge. This is like a, small little outpost. It's like a bunker, right?
It just is.
Is that the ninja taunting you in the background? Yeah. Who knows what they're carrying on about. All right, so let's get ourselves prepared. Get a helmet on. Grab ourselves this piece, P8. Grab this P4. What? Why did you just chuck that on the ground? What are you swapping things over for? Oh, I've got this stupid thing on my back. I'll have that, thank you very much. Alright. If you accidentally exit the rock while it's moving, it bugs out and carries on moving, even if you get back in and power it down. When you get out, it starts moving again. Yeah, I've seen that happen a couple times.
Why do you not?
Ooh, these are normally one-shot kills. But, doesn't seem to be the case. I'm protected by my shield at the moment. It's a bit cheesy. I wonder what sort of clothing and armor they... Oh my god! I wonder what sort of weapons and stuff these guys are going to have.
Why are you laughing and crying? No, are you okay? You okay?
Sharp air!
What?
Be quiet! Oh, contract complete. Establishing security. Okay, I thought this was going to be like a bunker or something where we go down and... Charlotte, you need to calm down or I'm going to kick you out. I will shave your eyebrows off.
Oh, that's not okay. If we shave your eyebrows off, you'll be completely.
If I shave my eyebrows off, I'll be completely bald.
Yeah.
It's true. No, I still got a little bit of hair on my ears. And I've still got a beard.
If we shave his eyebrows.
Rude. Just absolutely rude. Stop. I've still got that. I still had that command running from the beginning of the stream. Stay active. Well, that was a nice, quick, easy mission. Unlock access to Citizens for Prosperity here in Pyro. I kind of was thinking that this building might be a bunker and take us underground, but that didn't seem to be the case. Only a handful of enemies here to deal with. Are you going to go down the ladder? Of course you're not. Every time I don't want to go down the ladder, you go down the ladder, but the time I want you to go down the ladder, we don't go down the ladder. I've started seeing these guys at some of the UGFs in Stanton with the grenades and the Kana and stuff, and, you know, this Duster outfit. I do like these. I wonder if you can wear a backpack with this. Well, I guess you can, right? Because it's armor, yeah? Loot box right here. What's in this loot box? Oh, some clothing. 3 pages of stuff. Multi-tools. Harvestables. Some clothing. Another jacket. Now, we're not Argo here. We don't really need the clothing and all that sort of stuff. Wonder what's down here. There we go. The ladder works. Guess we don't need this anymore.
Did you hear what I said?
What did you say, sweetheart?
I said to Isla, why'd you growl?
That's not what you said.
I did. And I'm just laughing her head up because of it. She's like really embarrassed.
Motherfucker, you had to jam it against a wall in your ship and grab the box off and then just set it free on Ignis to live its own life. That's where that rock is meant to be, Motherfig, living its best life out there on Ignis, just cruising around. Just waiting for someone to come across it. Imagine landing down next to a pile of nodes and you just see a rock in the distance just driving off, crashes into a rock and you have a look, there's no one in it, and then it bounces off and just keeps going. Oh, that'd be amazing. All right, let's go down. I don't think there's anything down in these things. Oh, this looks like a puzzle to get out of there. Let's go check it out. I don't think there's anything in here. One loot box at this location. Okay, we can move these things, but I don't think we need to. Because we can just climb up on this thing. Oh. Maybe we can't just climb up on this thing. Oh, we can. We're out. Freedom. Freedom. What's that? No. It's a cute little teddy in some camo. Here, give it to me. How cool is this little teddy?
Huh?
It's got some camos on.
Ooh, Teddy, can I have it?
Mum wanted to throw it out.
What?
Yeah, she's out of control. She's out of control. We need to shave her eyebrows off. What are those lights over there? What's that? Is that Yang's place? Maybe it's off in the distance. We did like land quite close to Yang's place. Alright, successful mission. Close the door up. Have a little lay down. rejuvenate ourselves, get some rest. What? Did that open up some inventory? Oh, there's inventory underneath the beds too. Crazy talk. Apple Wimper, can you give me some brown water, please?
Oh my god. I'm sorry, I was talking to Isla.
She's out of control. Out of control. Rhino, my friend, how are you? All right, let's go have a look. We're going to have to keep an eye on our fuel, right? If we're going to be flying around all over the place. What contracts do we have access to now?
What happened? When you said that, I was talking to my dad.
So bounty hunters, Foxwell enforcement. A proposal from the headhunters.
Oh no, that's so sad.
The Disable Outlaw Stronghold at Asteroid Base Hangar. Following a series of raids against Citizens for Prosperity aligned settlements, we believe we have traced those responsible back to an asteroid-based hangar. Attacking them directly will pose too great of a risk and most likely encourage aggressive reprisals. Instead, we believe that if their power generators were to be disabled, it could force them to settle somewhere else. Do you think you could handle it for us? Okay, interesting. Pilot in distress missions. Actually, now that I've sorted out my keybinds, we might be able to, do some of these. You were so busy geo-mining, Rhino, you forgot I was streaming. Rudeness. Well, welcome. I hope you had a good expedition. Can reuse the boxes now, or are they still single use? Well, Rhino doesn't seem to have the same problems that I was having. I haven't tried my Geo again since we had those issues last time, so who knows if, my Geo is now working. But, when I was having all those problems, we went through all the different scenarios and Charlotte, can you please go get me a Coke?
Yes, go away.
And please, you need to calm down.
I'm trying.
Okay, well then you need to hang up the call with Isla. All right, let's get into low orbit, see what missions we've got. Yeah, when we tried all of those things, like Rhino's suggestion just then, when you empty them out and you start extracting, it fixes the box. But that didn't work for me. And other people in the chat said that didn't work for them either. Somebody had mentioned that CIG had suggested that they melt their Geo and pledge for another one, and then that fixed the problem. So, maybe you just needed to get a new one from the dealer. Thank you, sweetheart. Darling, you drank both my hot chocolate and then went and had some orange juice, and you're complaining about me having some water.
Okay.
You're a big back.
Yes.
You're gonna be a bold big back soon.
No, thank you. I just want to be a big back.
Uber Smith, my friend, joining us on Twitch. How are you? Supply chain issues have been affecting parts quality on the Geo. All right, let's have a look. So now we've got some collection contracts. These are for Wicklow, which takes us back to Stanton. Hauling contracts. I don't understand how now I've got trainee hauling contracts when I didn't even do the first haul in the system. Oh, maybe these are for Redwind. Do I already have rep for Redwind? I don't. Okay, super weird. Redwind are happy to hand out contracts for people without having to do a test mission. All right, we could do a hauling contract for Citizens of Prosperity. 31 SCU to Canard View. Well, last time I went to Canard View, it was a dangerous situation. And I don't have a ship that can carry 31 SCU. What do we have for Bounty Hunter? Bounty Hunters Guild. Verified bounty. A low risk target, single seater. Oh, let's. Where is this guy? An asteroid cluster. Who knows? Let's go fight this guy in a contract unavailable. Okay. In a cutlass thread, yeah. No, contract's gone. Loading.
No, I'm missing.
Catch a word real quick. Got your info from a friend of a friend. I know you're working pretty close with Citizens for Prosperity, so you're probably not used to talking with headhunters, but hear me out. We're after the same thing, stability in the system. No one wins when everybody's gunning for each other, but here's the deal. Citizens for Prosperity think that you can talk your way to peace. Trust us, we've tried, you can't. So CFP is just circling the drain, too naive to realize they're going to lose. That doesn't mean you have to, though. We could use someone like you and you're uniquely placed right now to help us even the scales a bit. Over at a remote outpost near Sunset Mesa on Pyro 2, there's a merc named Kadir Bembry, who's been responsible for killing unarmed civilians, accused of collaborating with headhunters. Sure, we knew him, but not enough to warrant their deaths. We'll pay you to put Bembry in the ground. Should be easy. You can get real close before you do it. We'll hook you up with a good amount of creds and also consider yourself in our good graces. So I wonder what happens if I start doing things for both headhunters and Citizens for Prosperity. Assistance needed at Pyro 1 abandoned outpost. We received a distress call from an abandoned outpost on Pyro 1 saying that they've been robbed by a small group of outlaws. Pyro 1 abandoned outpost, though remote. This outpost is a crucial piece of the CFP's infrastructure in the area, so we need you to take it back. Okay, so these sorts of ones seem to be the equivalent. These 25, 6, 7,000 credit missions. Did we accept that other one? What happened? Doesn't look like it. Seem to be the equivalent of the sort of the entry-level bunker missions. You think we can have rep with both, Motherfig? The only issue here really, right, is that, you know, we're flying all over the system. It's not like we're doing things in Crusader or Hurston or, you know, in that region. It's Pyro. So, you know, let's do this one. Let's accept this. Pyro 1. Let's go have a look where it's going to take us. We're going to have to refuel. So we're at Monox. Now we're going over to Pyro 1. So we can get there on the fuel that we've got. Once we get there, can we get fuel from somewhere close by? I've no idea. Well, let's find out. Game with one and lose with the other, so it's just a constant back and forward of tug of war with the rep, hey? Let's jump out this way and then we'll interrupt this jump and keep moving. That jump didn't work. Let's try again. Off we go. Yeah, that's what I thought would happen, because when Twitch was around, you know, not Twitch, but Twitch over at ArtCorp, if you did missions for Blackjack, it would affect Twitch's, you know, your relationship with Twitch. And if you did missions for Twitch, it would affect your relationship with Blackjack. All right, let's head on over. So the plan tonight, there's no plan. We've got a couple of hours just to float around, do a few things. We are in the Cutlass Red at the moment. I might switch it out for a Cutlass Black or something that we can haul some cargo in. Maybe jump in a Geo or something and do a little bit of rock mining. Maybe we'll see if my Geo is still having that same issue. The Geo was fun to use, but if you're going out rock mining, then I'd just take the rock with you. If you've got a ship that can carry a Geo, and still have space left over for doing other sorts of things, and you want to do a little bit of rock mining without having to take up all the space that a rock takes up, then yeah, take the Geo, stick it in the corner of your ship. All right, here we go. Yeah, group rock mining in Geos would be super fun. You ditch the Corsair back to the C1, Motherfig. I'd like to have a look at the Corsair. How much is the Corsair in game? It's like 8 million or something, isn't it? It's pretty chunky, right? Didn't like the scanning in the Corsair. Rhino's not a fan of the C1. I love the C1. It's a beauty. It's got that really chunky sound in the engine, that Crusader sound. It's deep. I don't know if I like the C1 or the Zeus. Both very similar ships. I probably prefer the Zeus. You know, because it's got the little kitchen area, it's got the little bunk rooms, it's got better weapon racks. You know, the C1, you know, it has that Crusader corridor, right? And then it's just got the two little bunks. Oh God, nighttime again? The Corsair is 6.5, is it? That's a good chunk of money, 6.5. It's come up so many times as I've been playing A Life Uncharted with everyone's favourite bogan, the Ginger King, Mr. Argo Hurston, is when is Argo going to get to Pyro? And so after last night's discussion and you know, going through the second edition of A Life Uncharted, and you know, touching on Infamy last night, Infamy being the main attribute that you know, your character builds. You know, they grow their infamy, they build their infamy. Being the main way to unlock new regions, is that I thought, you know, from a story perspective, I might put in, you know, a progression path for being able to start in Stanton, unlock the 4, you know, main landing zones and the 4 main regions. And once the 4th region has been unlocked, and you can unlock them in whatever sequence you want. Once you've unlocked all of the regions, then you know, you get the hot tip, right? That, you know, actually there's a functional gate that takes you to this new place called Pyro. You can head out there. You're gonna kidnap Argo and drop him off at Ruin, Rhino? Maybe Argo will get kidnapped. Who knows what could happen? The verse is a dangerous place, man. Why is it always nighttime? Ooh, this place looks a bit bigger. Oh, this is like... Oh, this place is much bigger, and of course it's nighttime. Okay, so this is the first... This is the same type of outpost that we went to once, and we couldn't find, like, the last guy. He was like... It was like 6% of the enemies left or something, or 3%. And so the Hersons paid me to get him out of the system. Chico McMuffin joining us on YouTube. How are you, my friends? Got into my first fight in Pyro, won and was so hyped. That's awesome. I do have to say that the tier 1 or the tier 0 item recovery has made me way less worried about, you know, adventuring around. Because at least, you know, if I lose everything in my ship, that's fine. Because I always leave with an empty ship. Why do I have no ammo? I always leave with an empty ship anyway, so... Hello. What's going on here? What? Okay. I always leave with an empty ship anyway, so everything I collect on my journey is stuff I've found along the way. But if I restart with what I had at the beginning, then, you know, I've had a great adventure, and, you know, it's basically like starting again, yeah? And I don't have any problem with that. I don't mind about the time, right? A lot of people get worried about, oh, yeah, I lost so much time. But that time I've spent having fun, right? And I've used the analogy of board games before, specifically Monopoly. You know, what do you get at the end when you finish playing Monopoly? Nothing, right? But you get the experience and the fun of having played Monopoly. And so here, you know, I have the fun of playing some Star Citizen. I die, lose everything, and then we go back to the beginning. What the hell, man?
Ah, shit! No!
Come on, dude. Don't have all day to watch you. Oh, so now we get some markers, hey? I think the first time we did this, we didn't get markers. And I reckon those dudes we just took down must have been wearing some sort of heavy armor, because they took quite a number of hits. They're closing in on my position. Close combat. P4. Oh, damn it. Shit. Rookie mistake. Fuck. We panicked and sprayed. Oh, dude, come on. Dude with a shotgun. Panicked me. What is he wearing?
No time to panic.
He's got a hodgepodge of stuff on. He's got some He's got some stinger. He's got some stinger legs. Morozov. He's got shoes. Contract complete. Nice one. It was indeed no time to panic, Skeet. No time to panic. We got the Cutlass Red. Sitcom. 2947 SMG, hey? I want to see what these guys over here were wearing. Oh, yeah. They got some chunky armor on. Hello? No. No. As if he grabbed hold of that box. Loot. They're 55, hey? This guy's got the big Citadel core, the Citadel armor on. Why is it doing this weird thing with the inventory? Let's take this guy back and have a look. I'm quite happy with the Stinger armor that I've got on, the Overlord armor and the Stinger variant. But, whilst I do have a spare set of armor aboard the ship, it'd be nice to have another set of heavy armor aboard the ship in case I do get killed and we do manage to respawn aboard the ship. We've got some weapons, we've got some ammo, and now we'll have this heavy set of armor to put on. Oh, I need a spare multi-tool too. Okay, so this mission was a little bit easier than the first time I did one of these missions. We actually got some markers after I'd killed a few of them. So we knew how many. So is looting NPCs balked since tier 1 item recovery? No, why would it be balked? What's balked about it? What issues have you had? Oh dear. Why is the ramp up like that? Please be low gravity. All right. This locker is empty. So let's strip off into this locker. No issues, just wondering. Bam. Helmet? Huh. What's going on with my helmet? You don't do FPS? And then Rhino says, because you're a pussy. Aren't you the one who's always complaining about FPS and murder hobos and stuff, Rhino? What's going on with me inventory? Alright, let's go. Let's re-equip all this stuff. Yes. Oh, it's going to be so nice when we have like an armor rack, right? That you can... Hello. It's going to be so nice when we have armor racks where you can, just take off what you're wearing and put it on that rack. Okay, so the inventory's loaded. Let's try that again. Here we go. There we go. And then, just be able to one click, that's the suit that I want to wear. It's got everything attached to it. I just want to put it on. Now, is there any reason to go exploring around? Or do we just move on? Which one? $227 degrees. I do need to have a look at the Hathor locations. Yet to check those out. All right. So one small little outpost, a ruined settlement. I doubt we're going to see much from up here in terms of loot boxes and stuff, but man, I wish it was daytime. If it was daytime, I'd stay and have a bit of a look around.
Oh God.
Why is it always nighttime? You reckon this guy died the first time
Dad,
and then came back to redo the mission, then died a second time and then rage quit?
Dad, what's 2 plus 2?
Huh?
What's 2 plus 2?
9?
This was actually 8. I think you're wrong. No, actually, it's window.
Hmm?
No, actually, it's door.
It's door, is it? 2 plus 2 is door.
Yeah.
Well, I think you'll find that 2 plus 2 is a window.
No, window's one.
What? Out of control. You're out of control. Alright, we need to think about fuel at this point. Still got a fair bit of fuel. Maybe the fuel efficiency of ships has been modified a little bit. Because we refueled before we came to Pyro. Then we jumped all the way to Monox. And then we've jumped all the way here out to wherever we are, Pyro 2 or wherever. And we've still got, 3/4 of a tank more. A little more than 3/4 of a tank. Hello. What's going on with the Moby?
Warning, warning, warning.
Warning.
We have an emergency.
Warning.
Raiders are preparing to board.
Uh-oh.
Quick, hide the Tim
Hide the
Tams,
Tim Tams.
which is being raided by Thunderstorm.
Bring the
They've
Thunder
got
Thunder!
visitors for our goodies. Welcome to the stream, folks. Welcome to After Dark.
Welcome to After Dark. Welcome, Raiders. How is everybody? I hope you're all having a wonderful time. Sanderstorm? Oh, shit. I hope you had a wonderful stream, my friend. I hope you had a wonderful stream. Thank you so much for the raid.
Hey, Dad,
Yes, sweetheart.
what's 6 plus 6?
14. Let me ask chat, what's 6 plus 6? So my daughter over here. Thunderstorm. How goes the verse, brother? My ninja is over here on her rig over there. She's asked me what 6 plus 6 is.
No, Isla asked me to ask you what
Okay. Rhino says it's 66. Wannabe Gamer says it's 12. Jason the Bruce says 42. Thunderstorm says 392. So we're over here in Pyro. I don't normally come over here very often. But, you know, I spend most of my time in Stanton. The only time I'm out here in Pyro is when I go rock mining in the previous iteration, before we got all the new gems and everything. Spending most of my time on Ignis, and we're out here just, you know, mucking about really. Spending a little bit of time. What's going on with me Moby Glass? Spending a bit of time just naffing about. Doing some stuff for Citizens for Prosperity. Talking about Star Citizen. Having a general ramble while my daughter over here annoys me. But I wouldn't have it any other way. So thank you so much, Raiders, for joining us there on Twitch, Thunderstorm. I appreciate you, buddy. You love Pyro.
Twitch is
Been doing a lot of
broadcasting
drug
every
smuggling
hour,
from Pyro 4 to Stanton.
Is now following on
Schubert.
Twitch. Welcome to After Dark.
Thank you, mate. Appreciate the follow. 6 plus 6 is 6. If you place a 6 on top of a 6, they cancel each other out, and you are still left with a 6.
Wait, who said 66?
I think Rhino said 66.
They were correct. I said.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations, Rhino. You were correct. Apparently the answer to what 6 plus 6 is 66. All right, let's have a look. I've got the Apple Moby. Schubert, appreciate you, mate. Thank you for the follow. What is going on with me Moby? Here we go. Just doesn't want to work in the pilot seat. That's okay.
Twitch
Of course,
is
man. Have a
broadcasting
great time in the
every
verse.
hour,
I'll drop you a follow, and I'll tune in next time. I'm going to get some sleep, so I'll be heading out. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Have a great Easter. I was about to say have a great Christmas. I think you heard it. Have a great Easter, buddy. All right, so
No, please.
I wouldn't mind trying out, now that my keybinds are properly working, one of these pilot in distress missions in a good old Cutlass thread. Go to the asteroid cluster.
I'll be
I shall do it. I've had for such a long time so many issues with my keybinds, all the different things that I've had plugged in, you know, my sim racing gear, my, you know, flight simulator stuff, but I've unplugged all of that stuff and we've just got my flight sticks plugged in. And last time, you know, I've been trying to do combat, my guns were doing weird things. And it wasn't until a couple of weeks ago when someone pointed out, every time you pull your trigger, one of your MFDs changes and the gun stopped working. And then, you know, I press the trigger and the MFD changes and the guns start working. And so the guns would fire intermittently. I wasn't really able to engage in combat. And then that took ages to troubleshoot because one of my accessories was randomly, everything, you know, when you're in your keybinds and you're trying to assign something, normally the game waits for you to press the input so it can register that, right? But one of my peripherals was just deciding that it would want to engage itself. So I try to activate something and like some random input button 24 on something would poke itself in there. And it was such a pain in the ass, but that's all done now. So I'm keen I haven't done any ship combat for such a long time. Normally we get all carried away with story-based content and, you know, narrative gameplay and, you know, ridiculous things with my alter ego on my alt account, Mr. Argo Hurston, everyone's favorite Bogan, the Ginger King, Mr. Argo Hurston, where we play A Life Uncharted. 17 episodes so far, it's crazy. Where it's all fully narrative and, you know, very heavily restricted sort of gameplay, very thematic, you know, all custom rules and, you know, different sorts of fees and expenses and, you know, limitations on gameplay possibilities. And I'm currently writing the second edition of that at the moment. That's super fun.
I'm receiving an
so
alert from the
it's-
Stream Snack support.
Oh, no.
Legendary Team Nomad has contributed $5 to the Stream Snack Support Fund. Thanks for the
Legendary
kilograms.
Team
Legendary
Nomad.
Team Nomad is watching you and thereby judging you on your Nomad performance.
Mr. Dutchman, how are you? Thank you, buddy. Appreciate your contributions to the Stream Snack Support Fund, my friend. We're saving up. Next weekend, we're having our slam off. So for all of our raiders, if you can check out on YouTube all my previous streams there, at the beginning of every stream, we start with a good old Tim Tam Slam. Now, if you don't know what a Tim Tam Slam is, I guess that's a good reason to check out, you know, the first 10 minutes of any stream. To learn what a Tim Tam Slam is. So next week we're having a slam off, right? What can we use in place of a Tim Tam for a good old Tim Tam Slam? Why did we stop so far out? We got to protect this ship, hey? Now don't expect anything fantastic here, folks. We're pretty ordinary. We're pretty ordinary. Decoys.
Acknowledged.
Atreyu! Lock target.
Of course, Commander.
Wrong target. Lock target. Lock target. Atreyu.
Yes, Commander.
Decoys.
Certainly, Commander.
Oh no! Atreyu is doing a terrible job of defending me. I think there's a really good chance here, folks. We're gonna die. Decoys. 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 Yes! Activate the what's it called? The Toby, yeah. Lock target.
Twitch is broadcasting a new follower alert, sir.
Activate the Toby.
Hunter_Nick is now following on Twitch. Welcome to After Dark.
I'm not ashamed to admit, folks, I'm out of my depth here. I'm out of my depth. This is a situation I didn't prepare myself for in high school. Lock target.
Certainly, Commander.
If I can kill one of these guys, I'll be a happy camper. Oh, boy. Where's our target we're trying to protect? Lock target.
Acknowledged.
Look, we've been in worse situations than this.
No time to panic.
This is indeed no time to panic.
Start panicking.
Actually, we did a similar mission too, like this in the cutter. And all through that, I was like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. And I think we pulled through. We pulled through.
Did you know why we drink water? Because we can't eat it.
That's very true. That's very true. How rude.
Don't worry, Dad. I'll bring you back.
Major torque imbalance. We've lost an engine.
First of all, my teacher gave me an F. Second of all, I punched that.
Lock target. I don't think we've killed anyone. Lock target.
Acknowledged.
No!
Enemy reinforcements incoming. Rude. How can there be enemy reinforcements? We haven't killed anybody yet.
That's like,
Lock target.
Certainly, Commander.
I still have one more person. What?
You're witnessing, ladies and gentlemen, my fine folks on the internet, one of the greatest pilots in the game at work here. I think it's clearly evident. My mastery of tactics, of evasion, of gunnery.
What if I threw it?
Decoys.
Acknowledged.
Amazing. Man, it's been such a long time since I've done any ship-based combat. I forgot how much fun it is.
You are fined.
No, there's no fines.
Violation of the verbal morality.
There's no fines tonight. Lock target.
Acknowledged.
Lock target.
Certainly, Commander.
There's no fines. I don't even have time to read the chat right now. This is kind of Pisces. Shields are not looking healthy. Powder shields.
No.
Of course, Commander.
Full powder shields.
Power diverted to shields.
Lock target.
Of course, Commander.
It's not looking good, ladies and gentlemen. What is this guy in? Is that an M50? I think we're doomed. Oh! Why am I not getting any power to my shields? We got this. We got this. This guy's nimble, isn't he?
I have some sadness. Mama died. The moment I got her back to life. But you don't know.
I hadn't anticipated this when I came out here to do this mission. I thought there'd be like 2 ships, maybe 3 ships. And obviously I didn't expect Atreyu to be so inept at firing the decoys at the beginning of this engagement. And thus, therefore, take, 3 missiles. But this engagement, I haven't fought NPCs for such a long time. So I don't necessarily know how they behave. But this has been quite a challenge for me. I've really enjoyed it. Now, obviously, I jest, my good friends, when I say anything close to being a good pilot. Oh. Lost track of him in my overreaction. Did we oversteer or understeer that? Lock target.
Certainly, Commander.
Oh, he's on my tail, isn't he? Let's get rid of this guy. And then we shall return to the chat. Oh, we gotta go rock mining after this. Everyone needs to have a breather. I remember when I first bought my first set of sticks, the Thrustmaster T16000s, and I made that little video on YouTube. It was so much fun, It completely changed the experience for me. I forgot how enjoyable this is. I've lost him. I lost him.
I sent it to you.
Lock target. Target lock.
Certainly, Commander.
Oh. No. That's.
Yeah, I'm not a combat pilot. I'm sure if I watched more fucking Avenger 1 or Jonathan Winters or somebody like that who does a lot of combat related stuff, I'm sure I'd pick up some pointers. But I'm happy with my performance so far. I'm amazed I haven't crashed into an asteroid yet. Well, that's that dude taken care of. I think there's one more, yeah? Target lock.
Of course, Commander.
Where'd the dude in the M50 go?
No, the messages aren't. No!
Oh! The fine still stands. I haven't seen the fine. I haven't had a time to look at the chat.
I mean, they're just emojis.
Ship health is still 97%. So at least our friend is okay.
I'm upset.
This guy in this Mustang
They're literally
is a wily little man, isn't he? He's doing his little glitch dance. Oh!
Check, there's no replies. He just
Target lock.
Of course, Commander.
I don't know what he's talking about. He's not replies.
Where'd that dude go? Lock target.
Of course, Commander.
These guys just keep appearing, do they? There's like waves of them. I will get a chance, obviously once this is over, to get back to the chat. I don't think I've not read chat this much for such a long time. We're not normally involved in this much hecticness. Objective complete. Protect the ship! Alright, let's turn that off. Okay, let's have a look what's going on in the chat. What have we missed? I dropped something. We did. We need a fail alert. What have we got here? I should go on the PTU and do the combat training missions. I'm losing my duct tape, Dutchman. Rude. There was no duct tape on this ship. This is a finely built... What are we in? A Drake Cutlass Red. Now, if he would have claimed to be the best rock miner, I would not have fined him. Well, you know, I'm not the best of anything. A good pilot can read, chat, and fight. No, that'd be a good streamer. You know, if I was a real streamer, I'd be able to fight, play the game, and read chat at the same time. But you know, we're not here. All right, we did it, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. Now we limp back to somewhere for repairs. Now I'm curious as to why. I'm curious as to why when I put all my power into shields, I still have 75 on my weapons. This is super weird, right? 0 of 19 pips, right? Everything is maxed out currently on the engines. So if we max out the shields, max out our weapons, then I can put 1 point into shields and the weapons go down. But that didn't happen before. I still had 75 shots in each of the weapons. How very unusual. I'd like it to go back to how it was, please. Full power to all my shields. And full power to weapons. That's how I'd like it to be, thank you very much. Or maybe we had one less in the engines and we had it in the weapons. So what about the fine? Dutchman, you don't get the money back. It's too late. It's too late. Let me have a look what the fine was. true. We could take pips out of the coolers. We could take pips out of life support. What was the fine? Claiming to be the best pilot. Well, it's obviously not the case. That was just a blatant lie, wasn't it? That was a blatant lie. Look. That'll learn me. That'll learn me. I'll pay the fine. I'll pay the fine. Dutchman, it's underscore, right? Hyphen. There we go. Wonder if this is the right Dutchman. 100 grand. Fine paid. I don't normally pay fines when I'm on my main account, but when we do, we play it to the person who's fined me. Obviously, when we're playing A Life Uncharted with everyone's favourite bloke, the Ginger King, Mr. Argo Hurston, Argo pays 1,000 credit fine to my main account so that my main account can, you know, finance Argo's ridiculous adventures. All right, we need to limp back to a port somewhere. Where are we? We're near Monox, hey? What's near Monox? This is obviously an asteroid belt. I'm really not familiar with Pyro at all. L4, checkmate. Then back to checkmate. Go have a little repair. And fix up that bit of the ship that fell off. That'd be a good thing. We're off. Oh boy, that was fun, and at my level of ineptitude, rather intense. I kind of enjoyed that. It was good fun. It's been such a long time since I've done any ship combat. Obviously, because of that issue that we had with the bloody keybinds that, you know, was progressing for months until a very astute person in the chat had said every time you pull your trigger or you hold your trigger, your left MFD changes. And then that led into the whole, okay, let's try and find out what's going on here. Oh, maybe I can get my F8 out again and we can actually go use that in some combat. Actually, that's when all of this started, after I got the F8. I haven't been able to use it in combat at all. I got the F8 and then I was like, I'm going to take this into combat. And I wasn't able to use it. In fact, we've never had the F8 in combat. So I guess if we wanted to do some more of these types of missions, we could always jump in the F8, right? Ooh, fun times. Now, I thought there were like handyman missions and stuff out here in Pyro, but we haven't seen any of those. I'm not sure what's currently active and what's not active in terms of the missions that are available out here in Pyro. I just thought there was like different mission sets and stuff that you could do out here. What the hell is this place? Checkmate. Contact landing services.
Acknowledged. CLS has been contacted.
Why is the ship doing weirdness? Why is the ship doing weirdness? Probably because we're missing part of the ship. Am I underneath the station? No. This looks like a hangar here. crashed onto the ground. We're down, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was an adventure. That was an adventure. That was an adventure that I thoroughly enjoyed. All right, let's check out what the bill's going to be. 48 grand. Brutal. All right, we're processing everything. Lovely. All right. You had an issue until last night, Ronnie. You'd be flying in precision mode, would flicker in and out. Finally realized it was a controller you had plugged in. You unplugged it and the issue went away. Woohoo! Alrighty. I really enjoyed that. That was good fun. So, history, mercenary contract, pilot in distress. So how many were there? Maybe 6? You think we took 6 out? Oh, delivery mission. Checkmate Habs stroll. Any chance you're at Checkmate Habs? Need a box hustled from the entrance inside Checkmate at the L4 Lagrange of Pyro 2 to the Habs inside Checkmate at the L4 Lagrange of Pyro 2. What the fuck? Get it there in time and unbroken, and it'll be the easiest creds you've ever earned. I need a box hustled from the entrance inside Checkmate to the Habs. This is an Argo mission! This is an errand! This is an errand, and we're getting paid 24 grand for this errand. Are we in the right place for this mission? Deliver Ultrawoxen to Checkmate Habs. Alright, well, let's go do this. Crouch was the pilot in distress. I was the pilot, but why are my lights still on? The ship has been fixed. This is totally an Argo mission. Go to one section of a station, do something, and then go to another section of the station and complete the errand. Except instead of getting paid like 238 credits, we're getting paid 24 grand to haul this Ultrawoxen. Altruciotoxin. Let's go. This is my type of mission. Let's go. Where are we going to? Deliver to Checkmate Habs. Collect from the Checkmate entrance. So this is what your mission should be like when you first start out. You know, just running around and doing these sorts of collection missions around, you know, whichever major landing zone you're in. And as we've seen with Argo in his ridiculous adventures in A Life Uncharted, there's so many places in all the major landing zones and the orbital stations for these sorts of fetch and carry. And, you know, we have the Herge Quirtler, what's it called? The salvage beam, right? So, you know, if we have a look at that ridiculousness, oh yeah, this if we have a look here, if we go back into, bear with me for a minute. This all makes sense. Everyone just needs to settle down. Why am I logged out of Google? This is unacceptable. I don't know what my password is. Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's going on here? What? What is all this crap? All right. If we have a quick look at the questions that I asked ChatGPT, right? We went through some of this last night. One of them in here. Here, this one. This was my question to ChatGPT. You are Constantine Hurston, the administrator of a major city, Lawville, set in the computer game Star Citizen. Your family founded Hurston Dynamics and the city of Lawville. A new resident has come to your office and is asking for your help leaving the city. You have little time or patience to deal with this vagrant, but you can give them permission to leave the city. But first, they must complete 10 tasks for you. What do you ask them to do? And then, it goes through a little spiel. And then this one here, right? Which one was it? Dispose of unauthorized graffiti tag. Someone has scrawled Freedom isn't corporate on the outer transit tunnel. Remove it, find the artist, convince them otherwise. So this bit, I'm sure we could figure out. But this bit here, remove it, right? We've got this bit of graffiti here. We've got that salvage gun, right? The cambio. We could use that in this game right now to be able to get rid of this graffiti. And then that little mission that ChatGPT made up becomes viable. And so all these types of things from an early game perspective become possible. Oh, that's drop off the out. Where the hell are we picking it up from? I don't even know where we're going. Pick up Altroxen at Checkmate entrance. Hip hip hooray! There it is. Haha, we got it. You know what I'm talking about, Rhino. Stop trying to be clever. You're clearly not. You understand what I'm talking about. All right, back upstairs. That these sorts of simple missions, pick this up from this location and take it to this location. Or, for example, that graffiti, go and remove that tag. We could use the cambio for that. All of these fun little things, man, to do in the early game. Hello? Hey! That's crazy, man. Nice, quick, simple little 24,000 credit mission. Are there more of those sorts of things to do around here? So that's what I was talking about when I was saying, I'm looking for the different types of contracts. I had heard about handyman missions. Rhino will tell us everything. He's clued into everything. Checkmate stroll. Need a box hustled from the entrance inside Checkmate. To Checkmate. Okay. Collect some barrels from the entrance and take it to Checkmate. Okay. This is totally an Argo errand. Except we actually get to do something instead of pretending. Objective complete. Deliver barrels to Checkmate. Whereabouts do we need to deliver the barrels? It does not tell us. Should we try that same location? It's up this way, right? Somewhere around here. I've no idea where we went to drop this off before. I wonder if the little mini map will tell us. The minimap does not tell us. It doesn't tell us. If it doesn't say where, then it's bugged. Ah, man. Do you want this box of barrels? I reckon if we go back this way and we find those shelves, I reckon one of them will accept this box. It's just not showing us the destination where we need to put it. The problem being, I don't know where all the shelves are. And I can't remember where we just went. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we came through here. Did we pick up the box from down this way? Okay, we picked up the box from here. There's the box that was on the ground. We picked it up from here. And then for the first one, we went this way. I'm pretty sure I went that way, but let's try going this way. I'm sure these all link up to each other somehow. Again, I'm not terribly familiar with this locale. Or we could get some rat juice while we're here. Okay, so there's the steps that we would have come up. There's where we ran down. I don't remember coming out to the habs and stuff. Easiest 28k you'll ever make, provided there's a spare slot. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it did say mission complete already. It said mission complete because I'd picked up the box. All right, so doesn't look like this one is working. So it's usually the Habs or the medical center. All right, that was the Habs. Let's try the medical center. I love this tunnel here. It reminds me so much of The Division. That was a fun game. I really enjoyed that game. No! So this is why the mission bugs out, right? I see. This is why the mission bugs out. Because the shelf is full of boxes. I see. Who tried that one? Stone Knight, my friend. How are you? Marcus T5 joining us on YouTube. How are you, my friend? This is why the mission bugs out, because it's not clearing away these boxes. Actually, you know, when the shelf gets to this state, it should start triggering like anti-missions, where then people need to come to the med center and pick up these boxes and go put them in a Covalex terminal. So you have players moving boxes around within, you know, the landing zone or the space station or whatever. And then when the shelf is full, it starts triggering missions for people to come and get those boxes and take them to a Covalex shipping terminal. And that, my friend, as Metaphysical says, is why it is bugged. Aha! Aha! Interesting, which is why all these other boxes are sitting around on the ground, right? So these people must have tried to take these boxes. I wonder. We got some barrels, right? Can we steal these barrels? Can't put it in my inventory. Maybe I take it down to my hangar. Marcus T5, my friend. It is a fantastic idea. This is I spend a great deal of my time playing Star Citizen just thinking about all these ridiculous things. All these silly little missions. This is 100% if we go and have a look at A Life Uncharted. So this is my custom rule set, right? Quests. Here we go. Oh, this is version 2. This is 100% an errand. Are there any errands here? No, well, there's no errands. Fair enough. But this is a typical errand. Go to Perimeter Gate number 5. This is obviously a mission at Lawville, or an errand at Lawville. Go to Perimeter Gate number 5 to the train station and do something there. Pick up some paperwork, a briefcase, a box, and then take it to the Perimeter Gate number 3 to the Customs and Information Office. But instead of getting paid 281 credits according to my stupid system, we can do that here in freaking Pyro and get 28 grand. It's totally an Argo mission. This is incredible. I love it. I love it so much. So, what? You could, I guess, well, I was going to say you could continually spam these, right? But need a box hustled from the entrance to the Habs. Okay, so this one will work, right? Because it's gone to the Habs, where the shelf at the Habs isn't full. Actually, this will be interesting. If we fill up all the shelves at the Habs, do all the missions stop working? Oh, hang on, let's track the right quest. Where the hell is the box? All right. Okay, that's our box that we want. They want lots of drugs at the Habs, don't they? Amazing. All you can really do is server hop, huh? Well, it would seem so. It would seem so. That's incredible. But then you would lose the mission. Yeah, but then you just accept one on a server that's full. This is ridiculous, right? Is there another one of them? Yeah, there is. Okay, so this is the broken one, right? Need a box hustled from the entrance to the clinic. Okay, so this says the clinic. Okay, let's accept this because the other one didn't say the clinic. It just says to checkmate. But this one actually says to the clinic, right? So let's track this and, and we'll see what happens to the clinic. I don't think there's going to be
any of y'all niggas around here know where I can get some fucking ammunition?
No. I wonder what will happen to the clinic shelves. Because the other mission... Come on, dude. Put the guns away, man. Everyone just needs to calm down. The other mission didn't say where to take the package. This one does say to take it to the clinic. I don't know. Probably some grandmother's underwear.
Bro, I always see those boxes in the CZ. There's people like glitching through the doors with them, bro.
People will be people. Yeah, so this doesn't work, right? But as soon as I got that mission to take it to the clinic, it cleared the clinic shelf.
This guy's glitching, bro. I think he's I think this guy's.
That's incredible.
In the CZ with these boxes, man. There's heaps of boxes down there right now. This guy, I think, just I don't know where he's getting them from though.
I'm glitching everywhere, man. I glitched into your hangar before, man, and took your daughter.
What'd you say, bro?
That's incredible. We got a mission. The first one bugged out, right, because we couldn't get. There was no destination for the mission to go to.
I'm gonna have to turn my shit out.
The second one gave us a destination and it cleared that shelf. Oh! Are you the dude who was asking about ammo earlier on?
Why is everything I fucking do
No,
in this
bro,
game
I'm
so
out these
fucking
boxes,
buggy?
man.
Ah, okay, cool.
Calm down, bro. Calm down, brother.
And that's why I mute VoIP. I love VoIP, man. It's fucking amazing. That's the whole point of playing a multiplayer game.
Shit.
It's so good. It's so good. That's why you play a multiplayer game, man.
Design these contested zones. The fucking morons, mate. You're fucking 20 frames in there.
All right, so you could just keep doing these missions over and over and over. Is there another one? There is. Where does this one go? To the Habs. The box going to be down there? It is. Incredible. All right, so when there's no destination for the box, it just wigs out, man. It just wigs out. But if there's a destination, it clears the shelf, right? Perfect. This is ridiculous. Like, is there a limit to how many of these you can do? Like this is the easiest. Who said this is the easiest 28K? Come on, Joe. So I'm assuming when this shelf is full and you get another mission to take it to the Habs, this shelf will empty out. Nah, it's not my box, bro.
Here, bro. There you go, brother.
Oh, thanks, man. I'll put it over with the others.
Just don't be bringing those down in the contested zone and glitching anymore, brother. I'll fucking have to report you to the authorities, remember?
Yeah, I love you, mate. I don't even know where the contested zones are, man. Never been there. That's one other thing I haven't even done, is the contested zones.
I apologize for
Let me know if you
interrupting,
need a guide
Commander.
sometime,
YouTube is
man.
broadcasting a
I'll
subscriber
help you out,
alert.
bro.
Thank you, Marcus5, for subscribing
mate.
on YouTube. Welcome to After Dark.
No limit. Marcus T5, my friend. Thank you for subscribing on YouTube. Legend.
What's going on, boys?
You should be building your rough and ready rep. Oh, really?
Twitch is broadcasting a new follower alert, sir.
What is going on over here?
Half-Hearted is now following on Twitch. Welcome to After Dark.
Rough and ready, hey? No rough and ready rep. Or maybe it's like an internal rep.
I can't even call a fucking ship in. It doesn't fucking load.
Half a job.
Having a pretty rough time.
Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Apologies for the rest of the miscreants here in Checkmate at the moment. You know, I don't know if VoIP does this, but or if it's like or if it's just regional, right? But I'm not sure, like, if this dude here, like I don't know which one's following me around or which one's having a whinge, the Aussies who's having a whinge. That, like, when you get further away from them, does the audio volume like lower? Does it get quieter? Indy, my friend, how do you know? Do you know how much the mole is in game?
That one's for you, bro.
Sorry, man. What's that?
Just happened?
I can't seem to drop it out of my hands, though. I'm not sure what's going on.
Star Citizen magic. It's all right, man. It's all right.
Fuck, bro.
Appreciate you, bro. I think the mole is like, is it the mole's 8.5 or something like that? It's pretty chunky now. It used to be a lot cheaper, but obviously in the great, price, rebalance, it's become a much more expensive. I'm not sure, to be honest. We could have a look, right? It can't be. All right, let's have a look. We could have a look on... Urkel will tell us. Let's go have a look on... Urkel. Hey, Nungi, it's almost time for bed, sweetheart. So let's have a look, right? The Argo mole, right? Here we go. New deal. this other dude, $8.9 million at Lawville, almost 9 million credits. That's a chunky monkey. That's a comp board for the contested zone that he was trying to give you. Yeah, I know. He wasn't able to drop it out of his hand or something like that.
You pick up your palette knife and then work that into your meat. Give your meat a good old rub. That's it.
See,
nice and hot. Hot and spicy meat. Yeah, boy.
I think that's this dude here. This is one thing that Star Citizen doesn't have, right? That is required in an MMO, is that when someone else is talking, there needs to be some sort of representation. And I know it breaks my immersion, but there needs to be like a speech bubble or something. Obviously, they have their FOIP where you can take your helmet off and people can see your face moving if you've got that activated. But, I'm pretty sure that that's this dude here talking about the meat, because I could hear him in my left headphones when I was facing this way. And when I turned to face the other way, I could hear him in my right headphone. You flew to Lawville to buy it from Pyro and thought it was 7.5, which is all I had. I thought it was perfect. Almost 9, man. All right, let's get out of here. How do we get out of here? Hangar transit. This is what happens when you get bored people in a multiplayer game. It's so much fun. Are we going the right way? I think we might need to go up. Hangar transit. We go down. Hangar transits, we go back up.
Still calling a fucking ship. I just relogged.
entrance, ship dealer. Okay, hang on. I think maybe we need to find a terminal, right? Is that a terminal? It's a
Hey, man,
terminal!
can you tell me if I've got something on my face?
We found a terminal. All right. What's the plan? Back in the Cutlass Black, Cutlass Red. Do we take the F8 out for some more of those fighty missions? I'm keen on that. Yeah, don't go to the hangar until you check the elevator is clear. Yeah, 100%. Although we did have someone who snuck into the hangar last time we were in one of these places in Pyro. Do we take a ship and do a bit of cargo? Do we take a vulture out and do a bit of salvaging? What do we do, hey? What do we do? Who's the vulture made by?
Did you know
Drake, right?
why we drink water? Because we can't eat it.
Yeah, it's true. Although it has come up before that, you know, that can be contested. SE is not for that, dude. It could be. Hey, Fellamide, how are you? Hey, all. How are you, my friend 07s? Thank you for joining the ridiculousness that's currently happening here at Checkmate. Nonsense talk right now. There's some very bored people here at Checkmate. What's the agenda this evening? Well, I'm over in Pyro. You know, we've had so many episodes of A Life Uncharted recently that
the same fucking problem. I can't call it a fucking ship.
Let's sort this out for a moment. Let's sort that out for a moment. We've had so many episodes of A Life Uncharted with everyone's favourite bogan, the Ginger King, Mr. Argo Hurston, that I thought, look, I'll jump onto my main account, we'll head out into Pyro and do some missions around Pyro. So we've just done a whole bunch of these ridiculous Argo-type errands here at Checkmate. These delivery missions, right? You know, pick up a box from somewhere and take it to another place and put it on the shelf. That's totally an Argo errand. Instead of getting, like I said before, here, instead of getting paid 281 credits to run between this location and this location and pretend we're doing something, we can do that in reality and carry a box with us here in Pyro and get paid 28 grand for it. That's crazy talk. Crazy talk. You could just keep doing those and keep doing those and keep doing those. So we're out here in Pyro. We've done... What have we done? We've done a couple of mercenary missions for Citizens for Prosperity. We did some ship combat. Although it's not here in my history, is it? Assistant defending site, establish security. Oh yeah, pilot in distress. Hey!
Glotrino can't get enough Tim Tam Slams. They've been subscribed for 22 months.
22 months! Glutrino and OG. How are you, my friend? Thank you for the resub. We did this pilot in distress, which was super fun. In the Cutlass Red. I'm kind of tempted to have a quick look at the F8. The Anvil F8. Let's get this delivered. So the agenda right now is, as the title said. What did the title say? A bit of that, some of this, and a whole bunch of nothing. Now, I don't think I've got anything here. Obviously, I'm not going to have anything here to change the weaponry on the F8. Although we did get... I think there's some weapons on the F8 that you can change for those... The weapons that we got for doing that event that happened. God, it was relatively recently. It was a recent event. I can't remember what it was called. But you got the two different guns, right? You got two size 2 guns and two size 1 guns or something that worked quite well to replace, the size 2, in this case, these tarantulas, ballistic cannons with those repeaters. But they're back at Lawville. I would got this stupid heavy armor. I would like to take this FA out and do a little bit of shooty. All right, let's have a quick look. Contracts, offers. I'm really enjoying the shooting at the moment because Argo doesn't get a chance to do a lot of combat, and it's been a while since I've had a play session on my main account. But piloting distress was good fun. Assistance needed at Pyro 1, abandoned outpost. Clear out citizens for prosperity snitch files. I know that you've been working for those citizens for prosperity fools, but some of my fellow headhunters would take issue with that. I see an opportunity. See, we need someone with access who can stroll into Stag's Rut on Pyro 1 and destroy the servers they have there. Not only would you be wiping out some pesky data for us, but you'd be earning yourself the opportunity to work with the real power in the system. Trust me, you won't regret it. Nongy Bear, it's time for bed, sweetheart. Nong, it's time for bed. Come on, bury up. Computer off, please. It's time for bed. Well, it's too late now to think about brushing your hair, darling. So I haven't done anything for headhunters yet. Everything's been for Citizens for Prosperity. So we've got plenty of pilot in distress. Bounty hunter. A low risk target. Some salvage, hey? Clear Yang's place of salvage. Our repair crew has been making some much needed changes and upgrades to our outpost after finishing some work at Yang's place on Pyro 2. Good night, sweetheart. Mwah. They've set aside some scrap they don't have time to deal with. Looking to hire someone to go there and salvage it so it's out of the way. Should be a quick cleanup if you're interested. Any RMC is yours to keep. Now, is this like something that you do in a prospector? Or is this something that you could do with a cambio? Clear sunset mass of salvage. There's 2 missions there. Could you take them both? All right, let's accept this. It sounds like a crime stat. Oh, this one's a legit mission, man. Or you do it with a hand tool, but you still can't sell the canisters. Fella, why do you think it sounds like a Reclaimer Vulture type mission? Skeet you did with the Vulture once too. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. You know, I haven't seen them. I haven't been to this place. I haven't seen this mission. Let's throw some caution to the wind. Let's get this Vulture. And we'll head out there and have a look. You know, like I said, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and a whole bunch of nothing, and a whole bunch of listening to the vagrants here at Checkmate have a bit of a ramble over VoIP. Can't close the back door. Okay. I shall return in dot but a minute. Right. It's the first time we've had all the roller doors open. Now that we can actually get access to our dining room properly and use that door that leads out onto the back deck. And it had come off its rails. But that has been fixed. Only takes like 30 seconds in the Vulture. Where's my hanger? Here we go. Super 5, my friend, how are you? How do y'all? What happened to the amazing Echo? Where did it go? We have fixed it. It has been banished. It has been banished. Takes like 30 seconds in a Vulture, hey? All right, well, I'm keen to go there and have a look and see what's there. God, it's been a while since I've been in a Vulture. You know, one of the things that really annoys me about the damn Vulture is that whenever you come up this ladder, he turns to the left. Why? The freaking door is on the right, man. It drives me nuts, honestly. What was the cause? Not really 100% sure. What did I do with the microphone? Oh yeah, instead of using a preset, I turned on advanced processing. You know, I haven't fiddled with any of the advanced options. I just changed it from the preset to processing, and it's fixed it. And the issue I was having with the sound, every now and then would fade in and fade out. In my headphone selection, I had the Rode whatever headset selected, and so then I changed it to a low frequency headset like the one that I'm wearing, and that fixed up the audio problem of the sound. Sort of, it was modulating a little bit, and then it would get quiet, and then it would get louder and get quieter and get louder. And so I think we're on the track now to getting things sorted out. Super Shaved 07's my friend, joining us on YouTube. How are you? Hope you've had a wonderful day. 8 likes on the old YouTube tonight. Not quite the double digits, but I'm sure we'll get there, hopefully. All right, let's go check out Yang's place. We did a little mission there to clear a settlement. We badly need to have a drink, don't we? Ah, we got time. We got time. We did a mission to clear out some rabble rousers at a settlement there. Oh my god, we just passed a massive asteroid. How close was that? How close was that? Whoa. That, my friends, was luck. That would have been our first crash here at After Dark for quite some time. Leaving a hangar. Knock on some wood. We haven't had an accident here for quite some time. There's been no unintended deconstructions of the ship. That's good news. Now there's a slight desync in mouth movement versus audio. Don't know where that comes from. More on YouTube than on Twitch. I don't know. The only time I see that happening on other people's live streams as well, and normally when I just refresh it all catches up. So that might be a you problem, Super 5. Unless other people who have been watching have noticed that we have an issue with the mouth desync versus the audio that's been transmitted to your wonderful ears. I appreciate you all. Thank you for tuning in. It's been a wonderful stream tonight. A good chunk of people watching on YouTube tonight. Thunderstorm dropped in with a raid with a whole bunch of people from Twitch. We've done some new things. Even though I've played thousands of hours of this game, there's just some things that I just haven't done. And one of them is spend sort of any real time out here in Pyro. And it has made me excited. If we just take a short segue, you can bear with me for just a minute. We're going to come back to A Life Uncharted here, folks. In the comments and notes, where I was talking about infamy. Now, if you didn't spend time with me last night, that's fine. I appreciate everyone's busy. I appreciate you tuning in tonight. We spent a lot of time, episode 17 of A Life Uncharted, talking about 2nd edition. Why? Oh, this is Argo doing... No, this is Atreyu doing all sorts of weird stuff. Where I was talking about infamy, right? Here we go. The only way a player can unlock locations outside of a known region is to purchase at least one location in a new region in the administration office of a major landing zone using infamy they have earned by completing tasks. Now, my tasks were kind of like that little box delivery mission, right? Things that you do around a major landing zone, a spaceport, or an orbital station to earn infamy. And then you can spend that infamy to, you know, as the rest of this note explains, unlock new regions. And as I said, I know, an hour or so, 2 hours ago, where are we? Oh no, we've only been on for a little over 2 hours. That's incredible. I think I'm going to put together a little structure here in 2nd edition so that Argo goes through his adventures. Obviously, he starts in Lawville. I mean, Argo's story doesn't really change in 2nd edition. But once he's explored, I'm mentioning all this because it comes up so many times. When's Argo going to visit Pyro? And I'm here right now on my main account in Pyro, just exploring and getting familiar with some things before I send Argo in here sort of unprepared, although that would be an amazingly interesting experience. Is that there's a progression path for unlocking each of the 4 regions inside Stanton: ArcCorp, Hurston, Microtech, and Crusader. And then once he's unlocked all 4 of the major locations, then he can get access to the gateway using infamy. So he needs to complete tasks and missions and errands and quests in all the 4 major landing zones. He doesn't have to discover the whole of Crusader or the whole of, you know, wherever. He just needs to discover the 4 orbital stations and the 4 main landing zones. And then once that's done, then, you know, he'll be given some information about, you know, there's a gateway that's been opened up to this new location. Are we getting attacked by something? Anyone else see that explosion that was happening down here before? So what, we just start salvaging this stuff? What's the deal? I think we're a little bit too big for this. Yeah, this is totally a hand salvage operation. I said it was hand salvage. I need to use the tractor to turn it. This is sweet. All right, let's get on the ground, man. Let's go check this place out a little bit. Can we get some landing gear or something? Do I have drinks? Yeah, I got drinks. I got drinks. Let's go have a bit of a look around. Okay, so this is sweet. I like this whole idea. Salvage the scrap. It's 20% left. Let's have ourselves a beverage. A butt bottle, perfect. So there's only 20% left. Rhino's saying we need to use the tractor beam to turn it around. All right, so let's finish the mission. Let's finish the mission. We'll get back in the vulture. We'll turn that over. We'll scrape the other side. And then I want to have a walk around this place here. See what mischief we get up to. Fellamide, don't talk to me about this magical duping bottle. You know we don't do that here. You know we don't do that here. Now I've totally forgotten. How to switch my Hurge Quirtlers. How do I switch to the tractor beam again? It's on my left arm, my left probe. Left Alt and W and left Alt and S. That's what I tried. Left Alt and W. Left Alt and S. No, that switches me to Hurge Quirtler. There we go. Right click is the one. Right click is the one. Why have I lost control of the ship's movement? Now what? Why can I no longer control my right stick? Okay, buttons work, but my Hurge Quirtler doesn't. Why? There we go. That works. Okay, that works. Free look doing weird things. Okay, I can't look up and down. I can roll, but I can't pitch up and down. Maybe because I right shifted? Yes. Fun times, everyone. Fun times. Alright, so I need to turn the right one off, right? Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. And then Rude boy, my friend, how are you? Can I pull this towards myself? Maybe I can't in atmosphere. Okay, there we go. Yeah, stay like that. And then we do Alt S to put them back on. Right click to switch back to my cinches, although we really want to be using a braids, but you know we don't have them. Don't tell anyone. It's 5% left. Objective complete. We got 0.1 of an SCU. I use keyboard and mouse too, Rhino, just not all the time. I love flying with my sticks. It's amazing. Such a wonderful experience. It's changed the game for me completely. All right, let's go. Rude boy, my friend, how are you? 07s. Thank you for joining us. Unless you've been here for a while and I haven't noticed. I'm sorry. All right, let's have a little bit of a wander around to see how quickly we can get shot out here in the wild frontiers at Yang's place. I don't know how to close the door. Ah, stuff it. Who cares? I don't have a helmet on, do I? Glad we could breathe here. Which is probably, you know, evidenced by the person walking over there with no helmet on. Goddamn. Oh, what's this? Carrie? Harvestables! Harvestables in the greenhouse. What are these? What are these? Patambu! Let's eat that patambu, man. Revenant pods. You can breathe on all planets in Pyro. Okay, amazing. Just not the moons. It'd be super nice to be able to find all this stuff in the wild. It's a huge thing that I love in every MMO that I've played. And, you know, a big part of KCD 2 for me at the moment as well. You know, collecting all the herbs and all that sort of stuff as I'm adventuring around. And I'd like to see lots more of this sort of stuff out there in the wild. Which it's a hallucinogen. You've been lurking? You woke up about 15 minutes ago. Now I'm sipping coffee watching Argo perform his shenanigans. Oh no, there's no Argo tonight. Does this, my friend, look like the Ginger Ninja? Everyone's favorite bogan, the Ginger King? No, my friend. Argo is having a rest. We'll be back with episode 18, probably next weekend, of A Life Uncharted as we continue to explore version 2 and mess about with Argo's adventures. But I'm out here in Pyro just, you know, just cruising about, checking things out. You know, I've never really spent any time out here outside of, you know, rock mining exclusively pretty much on Ignis. You've seen harvestables in the wild on trees also. Yeah, but, you know, not as, you know, as much as I would like to see. Especially if you follow the journal entries, right? We spent a lot of time up on Microtech, right? You know, going to the specific areas mentioned in the journal. You know, we found the specific sorts of logs. But you know, we couldn't find anything out there in the wild. Okay, so this is clearly not an armistice zone. Well, I guess we could just massacre everybody here, right? Start a big fight. There's one of these goes downstairs, right? Into an underground basement. It's so cool to see some new places. Albeit, you know, not a huge amount going on here, or NPCs and stuff that we can talk to, or, you know. But it's nice to see some new places. No loot boxes that I've found just yet. Let's get a helmet on so we can get ourselves access to a torch. What's in this loot box? A tiger claw. Yes. Let's get that knife. Let's change it for my multi-tool. I want my multi-tool back. No, I want my Paramed gun back. Be some good loot for Argo. Little secret hidey hole. See, now those sorts of delivery missions should be available in places like this as well. Oh God, it's going to be so good with all the little maintenance jobs and replacing fuses and fixing bits and pieces. And that's what I came to Pyro looking for is, you know, the handyman jobs that I've read about, but I think they've been removed for the moment. I'm not 100% sure. Yang's place, hey? Collections for Wicklow. No delivery missions here. That's what I'm really looking forward to, is the day when we can go to locations and find missions at those locations. You know, either, you know, through the Moby Glass until we actually get NPCs that work and we can, you know, communicate with and, you know, get quests and missions and stuff from. Even if it's something in the Moby Glass that pops up under a local option. So that you can come to an area and then go look at local, right? Look at local. Replace this fuse, move this box of stuff over there, eradicate this nest of copians that's, you know, 15 kilometers away, so you can get in your ground vehicle and just drive over there and kill them easier than flying a ship over or something like that. Or maybe you can't get a ship in there because they're in the bottom of a ravine or something, or inside a small cave, or, you know, all those sorts of local missions, so that you can go around, you know, adventuring and exploring and, you know, seeing things and getting involved in, you know, the local populace, which is obviously a part of what A Life Uncharted is, right? And why I've started writing version 2. And we have so many different sorts of things, you know, infamy, local reputation, guild recognition and guild credits and influence and all of this stuff that we're sort of make believing until we get access to these sorts of things in the game itself. But this was a cool, fun little mission. Come here and clean up some salvage, although we didn't really seem to clean up a great deal of salvage. We stripped some RMC, and that was about it. Having to disintegrate this whole pile and like clean the place up, that would be sweet. Look at this big dead white tree. Some sort of wood that we can harvest, like a weirwood or something. This music is appropriate for this location, isn't it? Out here on the frontier in the middle of nowhere. In a partly dilapidated settlement. See places to put things. All right, let's move on. Sweet. I'm sure there's more to explore. More underground areas and stuff, I'm not sure. I do remember coming to one of these places and we went down like a little trapdoor underneath the building. Oh, better be careful climbing over junk. Hay will fall through the planet. Like this water. I'm assuming this is a water collector. And I love the fact that we can harvest things from their little gardens here. Again, I'd love to see a lot of it out in the wild. so we can spend more time just adventuring around on the planets and stuff, and spending time in a vehicle, right? If this sort of collectibles were kind of like Hadanite on Ignis, except a much greater degree, that we could drive around, like you'd miss it all in a spaceship. That if you wanted to go collecting harvestables and resources, you can't do it in a ship because these things are absolutely tiny. They don't emit sort of like some sort of signature, and if they do, it's absolutely tiny. That you'd need to be in a ground vehicle with a scanner, tuned to that level of frequency, or just cruising around and like looking out the windows and going, oh, there's a whole bunch of vegetation over there. Let's go over there and check it out and find a few bits and pieces, and then let's drive. Oh, there's some vegetation over there. Let's drive over there and find a few bits and pieces. That's what keeps people doing that sort of gameplay, is that you're constantly finding stuff every couple of minutes. Whether it's stuff that you want or stuff that you need, it doesn't really matter. As long as you're finding something constantly every couple of minutes, couple of bits and pieces here, couple of bits and pieces there, then people do that sort of stuff. And because we don't have that in the game, they just give it out to us in loot boxes. You hope they keep the Moby mostly and just put in some quest turn-in people, like going to get some special meat for some high-end client to one of the burger shops or something like that. Oh God, I really hate to disagree with you, Phelamide, but I really hope that the Moby glass is, the use of the Moby glass is minimal. That the majority of stuff that you'll find to do will be out there adventuring around, and the Moby glass will be used for high priority activities. But to do all the regular basic sort of stuff, you'll have to go out there and adventure around to find it. You can't just sit in your hab and go, wonder what's on the job list today. That should be used as like your, hey, Crouch, we've got this, super high paying, urgent thing that needs to be done now. You need to accept this contract in the next 2 minutes. Otherwise we give it to somebody else, sort of stuff. And then just the regular day-to-day sort of stuff you do when you're out and about. Would be real neat if we were allowed to build a settlement or trading post from the ground up, manage it, and hire NPCs to run it. Well, they did touch on some of that sort of stuff at Sitcon Ruboy. No, I don't need to call for clearance to get out of here. We just need to take off. Amazing. Not familiar with the UI of the Vulture. It's been a long time since I've been in here. Okay, we're in SCM mode. Let's switch to nav. Activate cruise control.
Acknowledged.
I mean, it's horses for courses, right? Some people would prefer just to, open up their Moby glass and find the next thing to do. And you should still be able to do that. And then other people like myself would prefer to adventure around, go to another location. I'd rather be able to spend, 20 hours in a certain sector on a specific moon, because there's so many settlements and so many places and points of interest, like they spoke about at SitCon, thousands of points of interest on moons and planets, that you could literally spend, just hours and hours and hours of gameplay, not even in a ship, just, driving backwards and forwards between different settlements and stuff like that. Yeah, Phelamide, there's some really good segments of CitizenCon from last year about their intentions for settlements and how they're planning thousands of these sorts of locations and villages and outposts, all within drivable distances, broken into sectors and clusters within larger clusters, and that you could literally spend days of of real life time, hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, just doing missions in a certain sector on a moon. You wouldn't have to go anywhere else. You wouldn't need to get in a ship, that sort of stuff. Really making the game, accessible for people to, say, I live on Hurston. That's where all my gameplay is, because there's hundreds of hours of content for me to do on Hurston. That going to Microtech is actually a massive deal. That's what I'd like to see it as. You should do the unverified cleanup mission, Skeet Skeet. They pay you instead of paying a fee. Let's have a look what salvage. We're in a salvage ship right now, hey? Let's see what salvage there is about. Clear sunset mesa of salvage. So we've done these little 8K missions. That's fun. Oh, and then we've got to unlock, I guess. Let's have a look at the unverified, hey? I think nothing has been offered to me because I haven't done anything for any of the criminal factions here. Nice, but this sounds like it could be decades away from implementation. I hope I'm wrong. I don't know about decades. You know, we've probably got another good 4 or 5 years of hard active development before we really see the game in a very different position. You know, the last, you know, people have been talking about it for years and years and years, these freaking tech pillars, right? And the major last tech pillar we need is dynamic server meshing. And that's probably going to be 2 years away. Once that's active, give it another year, 2 years to really bed that down and settle it in. And during that time, you know, the tools teams will be working on all of these tools in the background. Like the episode of Inside Star Citizen where they were talking about hair development, where they've gone from, you know, being able to develop, you know, a haircut in 20 to 40 hours or 20 to 40 days, they were saying, down into, you know, just, you know, into nothing. They've done like 130 hairstyles. Now that they've built these tools, and again, a lot of this is explained in CitizenCon where they're talking about the resource libraries that they have access to as they continue to build new settlements. And, you know, they're building like a Lego set, right? The more bits that you have, the more stuff that you can make, and the more stuff that you've got in that Lego set, the more varied you can make them, and thus therefore more unique and independent from each other. And so during those years of, you know, the final hurdles of tech sort of stuff, all of this stuff is happening in the background. So yes, minimum of 2 years, 100%. But when it gets to that point where, you know, dynamic server meshing is really working really well, I think by that stage, you'll really see quite a heavy flow of all of this sort of stuff that they've been talking about. So I think it's, you know, certainly not a decade away, but like, yes, like you said, minimum of 2 years. No unverified contracts. Oh God, I don't want to go and scrape a frickin' Arrow. A local resident discovered a damaged anvil arrow and was able to tow it to an asteroid cluster before any outlaws intervened. Normally, we would encourage one of the locals to harvest the spare components and materials for themselves, but since they didn't have the proper tools, the next best thing would be to sell the salvage rights to one of our volunteers. Should be easy and relatively safe, if you're interested. Yeah. Lots to be excited about, but, you know, lots of reasons not to be too, I suppose. That means I'll never see it. I'm already nearing 60. So, plenty of years left. Yeah, mate. Yeah, I don't have any access to the unverified missions. Maybe I should do something for the headhunters to start building some rep. Maybe I should salvage their scrap pile at Rustville. Oh, you need to be in Stanton for them. Those are some great ideas, Ruboy. The one thing I wish the Moby-Glass could do is allow us to control some ship functions. For example, lock and unlock ports, open and close specific doors, hatches, and power on and off your ship. 100%, yeah. You can totally imagine running through, you know, a settlement, being chased by some guards. You've got no ammo, so you're just trying to hustle it out of there. You know, you're on your Moby-Glass and, you know, you're unlocking the ship, you're firing it up, you're getting the thrusters warmed up, the ship ready, open the door, run on, jump into the seat and take off. Yeah, those, you know, I'd love to see the Moby-Glass be able to control some of the ship's functions. I just don't want it to be the main source of finding things to do. Speaking of that, let's go to the Moby-Glass. Boring. All right, so I guess all we can do here is these salvage contracts, right, in this salvage ship. Otherwise, we could try and you know, do a little hauling contract with. Here, let's do this little hauling contract. 10 boxes. Collect agricultural supplies from Jackson's Swap and deliver to Shepherd's Rest. Some hot spots. Jackson's Swap and Shepherd's Rest. Let's go find out. 10 boxes. Oh, we need to think about our fuel, right? Okay, we got fuel. Let's go. Coming back very briefly to those, oops, that's not the right one. To the starter packages. I think these would be a great idea for the new players. They're only $10. Get yourself a full kit. And now obviously with tier 1 or tier 0 item recovery, you know, you get this set, right? It's, you know, you can't lose it basically. I mean, how could you lose it? If it's in your inventory and you equip it and you go out on an adventure, I guess if you come across another set of armor and you put that set of armor on and you store this in your ship and the ship gets destroyed, I guess you can lose it. But if you're not getting changed into something else, then I guess it's pretty difficult to lose. Mining career kit is a salvage armor. Yeah, they're both the same, right? Except you just get different tools. The arrow helmet. And the arrow. You just get different tools. I like how they just changed the pose a little bit. Get a little bit more on the salvage gear. I guess you get the multi-tool with the Cambio Light, the Cambio Light attachment. A Cambio Light SRT can. You get a canister. Get a true hold tractor beam. And the mining, you just get the multi-tool with the mining attachment. I guess if you were just starting out and you wanted something basic, I mean, there's nothing fancy about any of these armors. But I guess, you know, at the end of the day, there's nothing fancy about any of them, right? Until we have all of these different unique abilities that armor provides to us. You know, again, they spoke about that at Purge Quirtler at SitCon. What are we doing out here? What are we doing? Deliver. Hang on. Let's get rid of some of these quests that we don't need. Accepted delivery missions. We can't complete this one, so let's abandon it. We're doing a little hauling contract, right? We need to go to Jackson's Swap. Collect shipment. Why did it bring us here? Oh, because I set a course to that freaking other quest. A canister you can't empty unless you repair. Yeah, it's a bit annoying. You know, I'd love to see them at some stage soon make those Cambio SRT canisters sellable when they're full of RMC. You know, at least, you know, they're not going to be worth huge amounts of money, but at least they'll be worth more than an empty canister. All right, let's head on out back to Monix. A little bit of wasted fuel. Soon LTI on such armor kits works flawlessly. I suspect there will be quite a bit more sales of such. Yeah, well, I mean, that's, you know, that's all going to come down to crafting in the end of it. I think, you know, it's, I can't remember. Felamid, I appreciate you, buddy.
Felamid is now following on
Felamid.
Twitch. Welcome to
Thank you for the follow.
Dark.
Appreciate you. I can't remember what tier 3 was. and you know, I'm not Space Tomato. I can't just look things up super quickly like he can, or remember exactly which episode of Inside Star Citizen was spoken about, or which patch notes it came out in. And you know, that dude's phenomenal, man. I love him so much. But yeah, I'm not sure how the LTI will factor into it, but certainly from a recovery perspective, I think they're very much moving in the direction that, you know, things that you buy, you'll have the blueprints for, and if you lose it, then you know you'll have the blueprint and you can craft a new set. And then obviously throughout your adventures, if you find a set of blueprints, you know, once you've learnt that blueprint, again, there was a big section during SitCon last year about crafting and blueprints and all that sort of stuff. Once you've learnt a set of blueprints, it's essentially destroyed, and that knowledge you then have forever. And then you just need to collect the materials to, craft a new one. So I don't mind that. I certainly don't want to just be getting stuff back without actually having to do something or spending money or something like that.
A Mac65 is now following on Twitch. Welcome to After Dark.
Mac, my friend, thank you so much for the follow on Twitch. Thank you for joining us. 298 followers. We're almost up to 300. Twitch's self-imposed, you know, next goal for me. It's time for a bed for you, fellow miter. Well, I appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you being involved in the chat. We'll see you next time. Hopefully. We'll be back tomorrow night. Friday we streamed. Tonight we're streaming. We'll be back tomorrow night and probably Monday because I don't have to work on Monday night. Oh crap, I need to phone the fucking OM and let him know I'm not coming into my shift. I must do that before I go to bed. Even though I let HR know, they still haven't updated my roster. So the OM will be expecting me to appear there at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, which is an impossibility. Family flying in for a big Easter party here. Am I off, Motherfig? I am not. Not just yet. We got a little bit more time. Not a huge amount. But we've got a little bit more time to mess about and explore a bit more of Pyro. I do like this planet here, Monox. I like the clouds here. All right, we need to collect 10 SCU of agricultural supplies in our vulture. From Shepherd's Rest, hey? Wonder what sort of business we're going to get up to here. Last time we tried to do one of these, we got taken out pretty quickly. So I think a little bit of caution is advised. Especially from that ship that's quite close, that Corsair, and that other one that's sitting down there. Sitting right next to the platform. It's got his cargo door open. Use our freaking, what's it called? Our Insta360 camera to have a bit of a look around. Mr. Chuckleberries, how are you? Finally, a real streamer. I'm a real streamer. What are you getting into? Well, we're just messing about here in Pyro. You know, I haven't spent a lot of time here, so, you know, we're out here. I've been spending so much time over in Stanton, and then obviously, you know, we've had a couple of episodes of A Life Uncharted with everyone's favourite bogan, the Ginger King, Mr. Argo Hurston. And, you know, he's very much stuck in Stanton. And so we're here pottering about. We've done some mercenary missions. We've done some weird delivery missions inside Checkmate where VoIP got a little bit rowdy. And we're here to pick up 10 SCUs of something from this little freight elevator. And before we get out, we're just having a bit of a scout around. There's a couple of ships in the area. There's a Drake Corsair that's currently open. Who knows what happened to that dude? Do we still need to turn our ships off when we land? You know, that's just something that has happened by default now for ages after ships getting, you know, blown away in the wind and stuff, and, you know, all other sorts of crazy. Tractor beam works. We got a helmet on. We're armed. Guns are loaded. We've got med pens. Let's go about our business. Oh god, I didn't. Oh no, we should be able to fit all of these in the Vulture, unless one of them's like a huge box. How do I like Pyro, Mr. Chuckles? Look, it's certainly a different experience. You know. The places that it's nice to see something new. Obviously, we need content and lots of content, which is what I always carry on and complain about. Okay, we got 3 boxes to move. All right, that's moving. Oh, I did like the change that I saw recently where they were moving the Hurge Quirtler, what's it called? The Paramed gun to to a different slot, to the pistol slot, which means making it much easier to use your multi-tool. Mission successful. All right, off to Shepherd's Rest. Let's turn left and then turn right again. Good idea. Man, I was nervous enough just then collecting 10 SCU. Imagine having to collect hundreds of SCU from one of these places. I'm such a coward. All right. What's our fuel situation like? Okay, so there's a gas station close by to where we're going, which is good news. Steal the components, rescue the components. Well, so, you know, yeah, if we were here, if this was Argo, right, then he'd definitely be inside that ship trying to get himself some relays and stuff. We've still got a side quest, man. Must be the fuses. We've still got a side quest to freaking turn in 3 fuses. And in the last couple of episodes, we've had that side quest for a while now. And we just haven't found any ships out in Armistice that we can get into to take their fuses out, their relays. All right, we'll go turn this in at Shepherd's Rest, hey? We'll see what's happening over there. We wouldn't have been able to jump here if we didn't have enough fuel to get there. I'm thinking it might make sense. That fuel is burning out quick, man. It might make sense to go and refuel first. It's a little bit closer. Obviously, if we can reach the destination, we can reach that service station. Let's get a little bit closer before we... I'm getting nervous now. I'm getting nervous. It wouldn't have allowed us to jump if we didn't have enough fuel. True? No, that's not true. We're going to run out of fuel. It won't let you plot a course. It'll tell you there's not enough fuel. We're going to run out of fuel. But you can start a quantum jump just manually, even if you don't have enough fuel to make it. Oh no, I think we're going to make it. I think we're just going to make it. Oh, it's going to be so close. We'll... I think we're going to Starlight anyway. Maybe we're not. Okay, let's drop out. I was really looking forward when they were talking about pyro and, you know, lack of fuel and all that sort of stuff. I was like, man, my Starfarer can finally be useful. I can become like a fuel rat, right? You know, refueling people's ships, and because it's going to be ages before we get any sort of NPC missions to deliver fuel, or even, you know, let alone delivering fuel to NPC ships, just missions to deliver fuel to, you know, space stations and stuff like that. But fuel doesn't really seem to be a big problem out here. You just need to be aware of it. It's very, very unlikely you'll ever run out of fuel, unless you're you know, you're not really paying attention. And so I melted my Starfarer for the second time, and I have zero hope now of getting it back with its original pledge date, which is disappointing. CIG already did that for me once when I melted it the first time, and I was like, that was a mistake, and I bought it back. But it had a different date, right? It had the date I bought it back, and I was like, I want my freaking original ship back, man. This is not the ship I pledged for. Look at that ship leaving. Who's that, man? Johnny Yoon. I'm assuming refueling is underneath. Oh, actually, it might not be, right? There might be pads here. I'm not 100% sure which way's up and which way's down. This kind of looks like the underside, yeah? That kind of looks like a platform in there to refuel at. It's not. We need to be aware of what's above us. Let's go out this way. I guess we could just call for a hangar. pads are on the bottom of these stations as well, are they? All of this little debris out here doesn't look very exciting. There we go, AA turrets. All right, let's refuel. Amazing. Let's try the other one. Oh, hang on. Do I have landing gear down? Yeah, I do, yeah. Oh, is there something on the pad already? A destroyed ship or something? Pad 1! No worky. 3 pads, hey, Rhino. I think, given that we've got 2 out of 3 that don't work, I think we'll just call for a hangar. Contact landing services.
Acknowledged. CLS has been contacted. Awaiting confirmation.
After refueling, store and call ship to save its state. No, we're not. Can't be bothered with all of that sort of stuff. And refuel, and then we're out of here. We'll go drop off these supplies. What happens along the way happens along the way. No doubt, having said that and ignoring Rhino's very fine advice, we'll probably run out of fuel. Here we go. Let's refuel. See, now, this is why I'm saying it'd be amazing to have, you know, that local option here in the contracts. I've just landed at a new place, right? I just want to refuel. That's what I came here for. But, you know, I'm here, so I'll quickly check what's available in the local contracts. If every location you could go to had a handful of local things that you could do, replace this fuse, pick up this box and take it to that location. You know, there's a pile of scrap around the corner here. Can you go and clean it up? You know, just, you know, things to do, right? It would make adventuring around the verse so much more interesting. And, you know, these are sorts of things that they can do now. It doesn't require them to build any new tools. It doesn't require them to add anything to the game. It just means, you know, they just need to implement some of these things, in, you know, with all the existing things that they have, all the existing tech that they already have. Obviously, there's work to make that stuff happen, but, you know, they don't need to build anything new. It'd make adventuring around so much more exciting. Alrighty, let's go. Let's have a quick look. Yeah. It still does say fuel 257. We might need to store the ship and get it back out. to do so. I think we might just need to move it back a touch. All right, let's fandangle about to get the game to work properly. Drake Vulture, hey. Let's store this. Let's have a quick look in our inventory. I doubt I've got anything here, but, you know, might as well have a quick look. Nope. Are there any local missions? It's been so much fun. I've really enjoyed, you know, seeing something new. Although there really hasn't been a lot of new content, just seeing some new locations. You know, that farm at Yang's place, Monarchs, is beautiful. Well, you know, the limited amount of that I've seen, you know, I you know, like I said, I liked the clouds. You know, it's nice to see something different. Oh, I've run out of brown water. So I think we might finish this mission up. By the time that happens, we'll hit 3.5 hours. I want to do a little bit of work on A Life Uncharted before I go to bed. Ready for Easter. Oh yes, I must, like I said, I must phone the OM. I've already let them know, but if it hasn't been updated on my roster, then the OM's expecting me to be there, and I'm not going to be there. There we go, fuel's reset. Let's continue the mission and see what happens at Shepherd's Rest. Can we get these 3 boxes of agricultural supplies delivered through the freight elevator? Or will something happen? If nothing happens, this will be the first one of these missions I've been able to complete here in Pyro without having been moided. Having said that, I think we've only tried 2 or 3 of these in the past. But each of those times I've been moided. Is there a reason? Clear navigation?
Clearing waypoints and updating navigation, sir.
Off to Bloom. I've heard that Bloom is also supposed to be very nice. Ten likes on the old YouTube. Double digits. Thank you very much. It's been a long time since we've got double digits on YouTube. 20+ likes. And thus, therefore, a call to my old man. He'd be quite happy with me. My lawns and stuff are looking real nice. One of them that was terribly overgrown. Darling.
I know.
I can brush your hair a little bit later, and I'm finishing up shortly. And then we'll put some Harry Potter on and I'll brush your hair. Is it dry? Not yet. Can you get the hairdryer out and the brushes and stuff, please? What's that, Nongi? Your what?
I showered.
Your shower took longer than you thought it would take?
Yeah.
Were you watching your iPad? Okay.
Shower.
Yeah, you watch your iPad in the shower. All right. Glutrino Shepherd's Rest was the first place you got attacked in Pyro. Watch my back. Well, that's, we'll land there just like we did before at wherever we came from. We'll land. We'll have a bit of a look around using our Insta 360. We'll see what's going on, who's there. We've only got 3 boxes to move. This time we're alert, we're aware, and we're armed. Pyro has lost its shine, says Rhino. It's not like it used to be. Oh my god, it's dark. Of course it's freaking dark. I swear the vast majority of my landings are in the darkness. Someone positioned 4 kilometers out. Sniper. 4,000 meters, that's a long shot. The biggest threat in Pyro is your flying crouch. Mr. Acorn, how are you, my friend? Hope you are well. That's true. Although I was saying earlier, it's been a long time, knock on wood, since we've had a crash. There is still time, right? I'm still flying. So there's still time. And it's darkness. There's birds here. Amazing. Why the hell are those lights so bright in my face there? All right. Is that our little zoom in? Zoom out? No, that's it there, right? Zoom in. Zoom out. Zoom in. Zoom out. Now this is tricky, right? It's night time. We're not going to be able to see anyone using or moving around. There's no way we're going to be able to see anybody out here. What? Watching. Does it sound like it's moving? Yeah, it does now. Done. Success! Success. 10 SEU of agricultural supplies delivered. We completed a trainee hauler contract. We're a hero. We're a hero, ladies and gentlemen. Renowned throughout the verse. Our infamy grows. Our infamy grows. All right.
Twitch is broadcasting a new follower alert.
Okay.
sir.
Mr. Chuckleberries is now following on Twitch. Welcome to After Dark.
Mr. Chuckleberries, thank you so much, mate. I appreciate you hanging out with me. Appreciate the follow. Activate cruise control.
Activating cruise control, sir.
Now, I don't know how many of you heard, but the ninja is still awake. She took longer in the shower than she thought she did. She washed her hair, and now she wants me to brush it. It is 11:30, and she is still awake. Unbelievable. So we're going to finish up, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very short stream. Less than 3.5 hours. But like I said, it's Easter tomorrow. It's Easter Sunday now. It's 12:30 a.m. The Easter Bunny's going to be coming. I appreciate everyone who's been hanging out with me tonight. We've got a good chunk of people watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. 10 likes on YouTube. Don't forget to drop a like over there on YouTube. I appreciate everyone who's followed tonight. I appreciate the raid earlier. Who was that from? Sunder. Let me have a quick look here. Quests. I'm already on a quest. Thunderstorm. Thank you for the raid earlier. He's long gone. We'll cooperate and pass it on. Let's see who's out there and about doing something.
You are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality statute.
For ending the stream. I gotta go, man. I gotta brush the ninja's hair. And we gotta get to bed at a reasonable time so that we can be up at a reasonable time so I can get the spit on. You know, that's going to take a good 3-4 hours to really get cooking. So we've got to get that going early in the morning for dinner.
You are fined 1 credit for a violation of the verbal morality.
Just shave her head. I've got to shave her eyebrows off, man. I swear to God. Let me see who's on that I'm following. Otherwise, we'll find somebody random. Nah, all right, we'll find another random. There we go. Flame78. Flame_78. Early stream. A day in the verse, hey? We'll send you all over to this guy here. Early stream. A day in the verse. PvP. Chill. Star Citizen bugs. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll queue up that raid. Let's start that raid. I shall see everybody later tonight, I suppose. It's already today. So I'll see you later tonight. 9 p.m? Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see how things go. We'll see what happens. It is Easter Sunday after all. We've got a lot of family coming over. Who knows what might happen. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow, Monday, 9 p.m. I've got the night off. Stood down. Need to phone my OM. Have fun. Appreciate you. And I shall catch you next time. We've got a couple of buttons to press and things to do. But you guys know the deal. CT, thank you, mate. have a good one. Glutrino, Motherfig, Rhino, everyone else who's been hanging out with me tonight. Let's send this raid over. Which mouse am I using? This one here. Oh, we'll send 16 people over to flame_78. The rest of you, I shall catch all of you next time. Take care. Yeah, that's about it. See ya. Bye.